Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. The postseason is here. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Del Mendo, Ryan Herrera, our man Joey running it all from home. He'll be on in just a few minutes. Hey, we got a 12-game postseason this year. Oh, I saw Joey it was like a millisecond. There he is. Okay. If you're watching on YouTube, you saw him. 12-team postseason, and we already have a couple of games in the books. We're currently watching the Cardinals Phillies at the very end. I wanted to get to first thing, which was all over the internet, was Shane Bieber against Tampa. In the first game, he goes 7 2/3, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, and immediately Cubs Twitter is putting together the trade packages.
Myself included.
Cody included.
I was like, hot take. Cubs should trade for Shane Bieber.
Yeah, he
shoved today, man.
He looks pretty good. Now, I know he had previously had a postseason appearance when he was a Cy Young that didn't go well. But I don't think there's any question. I mean, anybody can have a bad playoff game. I don't think there's any question the guy's an ace.
Well, you think about it. You know how everyone, when everyone criticizes Clayton Kershaw, they say playoff Kershaw, he sucks. But he's gonna go to the Hall of Fame one day, man.
Yeah. I mean, you'd say Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna brag, but the baseball beat writers in all city, we did our preseason predictions, and I picked Bieber to win the Cy Young. Now clearly that's not gonna happen, but I saw something in that guy. I saw something in Shane Bieber. I knew he was a good pitcher.
That's Ryan. You saw something in Shane Bieber in winning the Cy Young. Something he's already done.
I saw something in Freddie Freeman.
I don't remember either of you guys talking about Shane Bieber in the preseason.
No, although
I don't even remember who I picked.
The only thing I remember, I think I picked the Blue Jays to win it all, which I suppose is still possible. And we'll have to go back and look at that stuff. I do know that I picked Schwarber to be the NL home run champ, which did happen. That's about all I can remember.
For the National League, yeah.
And I also had the Cubs at 81 and 81. So, whatever. So who would you give up? Who would you give up to get Bieber? Because he is 27 and you'd have 2 more years of control if Cleveland, for some reason, is actually willing to make a deal, which sometimes they are because they're so confident in their pitching philosophy. And I don't know. I don't know if he's available or not, but if he is, what do you think you'd have to give up to get him? You'd have to give up some value for sure.
If that team was willing to trade Corey Kluber at the time of when they traded him, then I think anyone is available to be traded by that.
Although they knew he was a bad guy when they traded him, right? They were like, yeah, he's not the best guys. Now, I mean, I'm not saying you'd have.
Phil's just scored a run on a hit by pitch. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Bases loaded. Yeah, I mean, we're all rooting, or at least I know Cody and I are rooting.
Oh my God, I will interrupt the show if the Phillies do something. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for Bieber, I wouldn't give up Nico Horner like I would give up Nico maybe if I could get Shohei, but I would be willing to give up Steele, one from that group, one of Steele or Wesneski or Horton or Thompson. I think you'd have to give up one, maybe 2 of those guys.
Well, I saw on Twitter, account Full Count Tommy tweeted out a proposal. Cubs get Shane Bieber, Guardians get Canario, Keegan Thompson, Caleb Killian, Jonathan Perlaza.
I'd do that deal.
Yeah, I think that's like I don't think it's too much to give up. I think it's I think it's like you see what Keegan's done this year, and it would Cubs fans, it would suck to see him leave. We got a lot of excitement from Canario. Would suck to see him leave before he gets to the majors, but you're getting Shane Bieber.
Yeah, at 27.
At 27, 2 more years of team control. I mean, you hope that if you're the Cubs, you could sign him to something of an extension, however long that might be. But I think you take that deal, especially with how Killian I don't want to say he regressed this year, but he wasn't as. I mean, I know he added velocity, and there were just different kinks to work out that he, kind of caused him issues throughout the season. And then Perlaza's lower down on the list, obviously.
Yeah,
maybe more of a like a grab for the Guardians in that sense. Yeah, I think if the Cubs are legitimately interested in competing next year, adding a guy like Shane Bieber would make a lot of sense because you already talked about how they want to go get a number one guy in free agency. In this sense,
you won't get somebody better than him.
Yeah, you're trading for Shane Bieber, but then I guess you're also alleviating some of this 40-man roster crunch that we keep talking about. I mean, I think it works in multiple senses. You obviously would hate, especially if Keegan is going to be this multi-inning like weapon that he's been out of the bullpen. If that's his future, you need to find a way to replace that because he was so good at that this year. But you can't turn down with that deal. If that's what the Guardians ask, I don't think you can turn a deal like that down for a guy like Shane Bieber.
Yeah. I mean, it's purely speculation, by the way, that somebody in the chat was asking, is this a report? No. This is just fun off-season BS.
Yeah. This is fun off-season BS. We are in day 2 of it, baby. I'm so excited to do it all off-season. I think that's honestly, I feel like the Guardians would ask for more.
Yeah, I do too.
With the 2 years of control, is big. I mean, Juan Soto, great example of it, and he's 27. Like, yeah, they would ask for more, or they would ask for they would ask for like a Nico Horner or someone like that. And I don't think I would trade Nico Horner for Shane Bieber either. I don't even know if I would trade Steele because you're not really helping yourself if you're trading Steele. Now Thompson, he's a versatile guy who can spot start and come out of the bullpen. I think the Cubs have a slew of those types of guys in the farm system that maybe could take that spot. But Steele was someone you were able to develop into a very good starting rotation piece. If you trade for Shane Bieber, trading Justin Steele for him with other pieces just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I mean, as far as that trade scenario, I would do it in a heartbeat, but I don't think the Guardians would do it. But no. Again, it would trading for Shane Bieber would make a lot of sense, and it would really help for a lot of reasons that Ryan said, but also like we don't know if Rodon is going to opt out, and we don't know if Jacob deGrom is going to opt out. Like all signs point to they are, but as we sit right now, we don't know. And say they do decide to just stay. You know what I mean? Like then your free agent list of top end arms is kind of not great. So if you have to make a trade, you have to make a trade. So
yeah,
that's just me.
Cody, like correct me if I'm wrong, essentially to be trading Chris Bryant last year for
Shane Bieber,
along with Perlaza and Thompson, right?
Yeah.
That's so pretty much you'd trading those two guys along with a rental of Chris Bryant because that was the return. Those were the two guys in the return for Chris Bryant. I don't think it'd be enough. And even that trade, although I would do it, I think any trade like that, if you're going for a number one starter, there's going to be some high risk, high reward on it. You know, that ace could be good. He could be a bust. And Canario could be your next home run champ. And Killian could turn out to be a real starter. Thompson could turn out to be a starter. And you could look really stupid in a few years if you don't win the World Series with that guy as the number one starter. So,
what always makes me kind of laugh is when we still kind of look at Steele and Keegan as like these not projects, but like they're prospects or they're young in their career. They're still trying to develop all this stuff. Keegan or Steele is 2 months younger than Shane Bieber. Keegan is 2 months older. Like they're not like they may have development wise been behind Bieber, but they're the same age. So you see how good Bieber's been for a few years. If you're hoping that Steele and Keegan are like on the same track, that might not be till they're 30 when they're like, if they somehow reach Cy Young caliber potential like that, you're waiting a few years in the future when you could get a guy like Bieber who was a Cy Young winner 2 years ago. Like if again, this is all pure speculation, but I don't think you can say either one of those guys. Like Keegan, Steele's probably higher on my list of like guys you want to keep around than Keegan. But I don't think either of those guys you really say like are a deal breaker for a trade for Shane Bieber.
No,
Definitely
I mean, he's proven it. They've had one nice season in the major leagues. Very nice season. You know, they each had really good seasons, but Bieber has proven it. Like you said, a Cy Young. Oh, look at Cody. I'm
following on the game cast, and it says in play runs, guys. I don't know what's happening, but in play runs
from Gene Segura.
Gene Segura. What did he do, guys? What did he do?
Punched it through the right side, and we have ourselves.
Oh, fuck St. Louis, baby.
No, Philly takes
fuck them.
Oh, my God.
Phillies take the lead.
Suck it. Let's go. This is my World Series right here. This is what we need. This is going to boost morale the rest of the show. Please don't blow it, Phillies. Please don't blow it.
It's not over yet. Phillies, actually.
It's not over
3-2 Phils.
It's not over yet.
Come on.
Yeah, 3-2.
I live for this. I live for this. Come on.
BFIB not looking happy. Boy, just a little punch to the right side.
Oh, man.
Anyways, before all this happened with the Cardinals game, though, you had the worst scenario for Cubs fans. You had Quintana on the mound, shoving it for 5 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, and looking like the type of ace the Cubs thought they were getting when they traded Cease and Jimenez. How tough was the beginning of that game to watch? He struck out Schwarber twice.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say that I'm going to be miserable until Jose Quintana retires, folks. Like, it's so painful to have watched that when that is all Cubs fans ever wanted from Jose Quintana, was to just do exactly what he did today. That is all we ever wanted in the playoffs. And he did it once against the Nationals, I think, from my memory. But, man, against the Dodgers in 2017, no. And then, then he was just inconsistent in the regular season.
He washed the dishes.
And he washed the dishes and hurt himself. Like, I just feel like Jose Quintana just – I don't know what happened. I really don't. And I don't – like, if you take my fandom out, and how much I hate St. Louis, like, in a way, I'm like happy that he figured it out because he always seemed like a good dude. But like, it just pains me to have to watch him do what he did today. It absolutely pains me.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I can hear it.
What you gave up,
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Like, and that's more on the Cubs than it is him. But like, the guy, I get it, man. He had a great 2017 second half, but he just was never consistent enough for you to feel like you were comfortable with him every single day. And like, that's the problem. Like, and the thing is like, and I always tell people this, like, Quintana was really solid for the Cubs. He was solid, and you were getting him for cheap with years of control. You needed someone like that when the Cubs traded for him, but he just didn't produce enough to justify all that when you give up a guy like Dylan Cease and Eloy Jimenez. He just didn't. So like, that's what sucks about it.
Well, and it always will, like, again, hindsight's always 20/20, and you go back and you try to figure out a way to not trade Dylan Cease, but even at the time, like, Dylan Cease was wasn't
I was gonna say in play runs.
There you go.
Sorry.
Dylan Cease was like projected as like a reliever, right? Like, he wasn't projected to be near a Cy Young. I think Eloy was seen as the better prospect, and he hasn't stayed healthy all year. So it's like hindsight's always 20/20. Jose didn't live up to that trade. I mean, Dylan Cease developed a Cy Young caliber pitcher, which if he ended up just being another reliever, like, how would we look at the deal now, right? Like, so just the way things ended up will always make a guy like Cody look back and say, why the hell did we do that trade? But I mean, at the time, I know people.
I'm not like saying.
Well, it wasn't like it was the best.
Go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Okay, I was gonna say this. It wasn't like the best, like, clear win trade at the time for the Cubs, but it wasn't like this horrible trade that'll go down in history. That's just how it ended up. So, yeah.
No, I agree. Like, it's not the worst trade in Cubs history. It's just one that if it goes differently for the Cubs side in terms of playoff wins, then you're okay that Dylan Cease is in the Cy Young chase this year, and you're okay that Eloy is if he can stay healthy, he's a 30, 40 homer guy a year type guy. But I mean, it just sucks because, like, again, and I've said it many times, like, the Cubs were unable to develop more talent at the time. Like, now they're developing talent all the time. It feels like, at least your projections say so. So that's good. Like, I'm glad they fixed that issue or are on track to fix that issue. But I just think the back end of the golden era goes differently if that trade goes differently for the Cubs.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like Quintana pitches once every 5 days. Like, he can't do a whole lot, and he can't fix the way what was Theo's quote? The offense broke.
The offense broke. Yeah. He did pitch. To fix that. He did pitch one game 163 against Milwaukee, and he actually pitched pretty well in that game. So it's not like he hasn't had good playoff performances with the Cubs. It's just it's kind of like what Luke's guy, the Catman, says, man. Like, he was a Buick, right? What was it? What's the quote? Luke?
It's a Buick. They paid for a Cadillac.
Yeah. He paid. Yeah, he's a Buick and he paid for a Cadillac, and it's just like you never felt like he could go out there and shove number one starter type numbers down someone's throat every day. He did it sometimes. He had great performances. He also had duds, and but there was never it was always more in between. And, like, again, that's fine. He was solid. And, like, I always thought he got too much flack than he deserved. But, like, he just wasn't what they had traded for.
No. I agree with that. And, it looks like we got another run.
Ooh.
Oh, they're tagging it on.
Oh, my God. This is.
You could have paid $1. You could have paid $1 to sit at that game, Cody.
You could have paid $1 on game time.
Been doing it right from the ballpark.
I could have been sitting there laughing, pointing, probably getting a fight with someone if I, would have said too many bad things. But I'm not. I'm here doing this podcast with you guys. How big of me?
Yeah, exactly. So, who do you guys like for the NLCS and ALCS? If you had to pick the 4 teams you think will get there, who does everybody think will get there? I kind of think it's going to be sort of a chalk postseason. I don't know why. I just feel like I think one of these 2 teams, either the Phillies or Cardinals, might sneak out of that bracket. So I would say the Phillies. Oh, look at the best fans in baseball walking out. I just saw it on television live. And piling out of the stadium before their team is even batted in the bottom.
You just hate to see it, Luke. You absolutely hate to see it.
Can you imagine leaving that game right now?
Just like Broncos fans.
I mean, I know they're trailing, but they're still going to hit. What if Goldschmidt hits a grand slam and they win? Like,
then it'll be like when Ray Allen hit that 3-pointer and all the Heat fans tried to march their way back in.
It's not like they got to worry about traffic in St. Louis. Like, where do you have to get to? Jeffersonville? Like, where are they rushing to?
They're probably just trying to get the best seats over at Ballpark Village right now.
Wow.
Probably. Honestly, that's actually not a bad move. If I was going to go watch the rest of this choke fest, I would rather get the beer half the price and at least have like 1,000 TVs around me.
RBI Schwarber.
That sac fly was the first out or the second out of the inning. They scored 6 runs in between outs.
Yeah.
I see it correctly.
Schwarbs getting it done.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you leave the ballpark early to make sure you can get up the arch one more time before the end of the night, but that's pretty soft sauce. So I would say because they're now going to be up 1 game, I would say Phillies, Dodgers, and then Yankees, Astros. I wanted to take the Mariners, but the Yankees and Astros are. I think it's chalk, and I think it's maybe the Phillies.
Well, I went Dodgers and Braves in NLCS preseason.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna stick to that, and I think I have to go chalk with the ALCS too. I think Houston and Yankees are it's gonna be 1-2 in the championship series for me.
I want Seattle. I just don't know that they're getting there.
I'll be different. I like the Mets coming out of the National League, and in the American League, I like the Astros.
Well, who are the other
Who are the other two? We're saying like final four teams. Like
we're talking about
Yeah, NLCS and ALCS just to get there.
Okay, so I'll go Mets and Braves in the NLCS. And then I'll go Astros and who are the other teams? I'll go Astros Blue Jays because I have a future bet on the Blue Jays.
Oh, Blue Jays.
It's not looking good for the Blue Jays today.
Not in game one, it's not. No.
Not in game one. But I kind of like the Mets. I actually placed a wager on PointsBet, my favorite app, on the Mets to come out of the National League. So not to win the World Series, but just to come out of the National League at plus 500, which I thought was really good value for a team that has Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom on it. And right now, everyone is down on the Mets after they got swept by the Braves last weekend. And like they led the division for however many days. And, like everyone's down on them right now. And now it's like, they have a really tough road, right? They have to win these games against the Padres and then face the Dodgers. Like that's tough. But I just think they have the better pitching between both those teams. And I'll bet on that in the postseason more so than I will those other teams. Yeah.
Well, go ahead, finish.
Okay. So like that's why I like the Mets. And then, I think the AL is the more chalk than the National League. I think the National League will be more up in the air. Like Luke's not that dumb for saying that the Phillies could do something. They have power and they have pitching, and they're proving it today in this game against the Cardinals. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But like, and I just don't see the Braves like no one's repeated since like I was like 9 years old. I'm 31. I'm old. It's all tough. Right. Like yeah. I could see them like. I feel like one of these four teams that are like got the bye, someone's gonna lay a dud in a series because they had these days off, this weekend off, whatever. Like you know how baseball is; it's all about routine and all that. And I just feel like there's going to be one or two teams that just kind of don't show up or are not in rhythm or something. And like, I don't know. And again, it's the DS in the next series, and like that's 5 games, right? It's not like you get 7 and that's if you win some of those, right? Like. I just feel like it could be it's never chalk in MLB playoffs. So I don't know. I do think like the Mets are like the one team that's in this wild card for the National League that like could just go through the gauntlet and do it, but it's going to be tough for sure. Like I'm not going to. Well, I guess I did bet on it, but whatever.
You did bet on and you did it with the PointsBet app. What else are you doing this weekend with the PointsBet app?
Well, I just did CHGO bets daily before the show, and me and Sean each have like 15 bets for tomorrow. So, college football, baby, like it's in full force. It's in full force. Again, place those bets on PointsBet. Is this when I do the PointsBet?
Yeah, I would do it right here if I were you.
Okay. Well, this football season, PointsBet is bringing you a better way to bet live on games, which means before this ad is over, you can place a live same game parlay. Bet on the next drive to be a touchdown and cash out your live second half over bet. With PointsBet, you have access to more live football markets than ever before. Build the perfect live same game parlay by combining your favorite bets anytime during the game, including spreads, totals, player props, and more. Choose the outcome of the next drive and next points with PointsBet Lightning Bets. So whether you are on the move or on the couch, do it live on PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app today and sign up with code CHGO to get your first 2 bets risk-free up to $2,000. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
Robbie says he's going to buy 5 CHGO t-shirts today. Well, I hope so, Robbie. We appreciate that if you do. Also, Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets for sports, concerts, and shows. If you've ever dreamed about sitting in a seat at the 50-yard line, maybe courtside, behind home plate, floor seat so close you can bottle up the sweat of your favorite artist. What's that Styles guy's name?
Harry Styles?
Harry Styles.
United Center, still available. Tickets online. It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on seats you thought you could never buy, and you won't find a better deal of the season on Bears tickets or Bulls tickets or Blackhawks tickets. Created by the fans for the fans, guaranteed lowest price. If you love CHGO, you're going to love Game Time. The best way to support us is buy your tickets through the link in the podcast and YouTube description. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the app. It's a Game Time app, and then they score the best seats to all your favorite events. Game Time. Get it done, Robbie. So save some of your cash and buy some of those seats. Go see Harry Styles 3 more times this week. Cody, your girlfriend's going. That's the word on the street.
She is going on Monday. I was really looking forward to her going last night because I have both my TV set up, this one right here and this one right here that you guys can't see. I was going to have Thursday Night Football on this TV, and then I was going to play NBA 2K on this TV.
Nice.
And consider doing it in just my boxers. But then she stayed home and one of her friends came over.
Too much information.
And it kind of ruined my night. Like, I'm just saying. I was like, man, I was going to have the entire apartment to myself. I was just going to be able to do whatever what the hell I wanted. 2 TVs. We got Thursday Night Football. As bad as that game was, I enjoyed it because I had the under.
Terrible.
And a little NBA 2K action. Like this is Cody in the offseason. If anyone's ever wondered about me in the baseball offseason, I just gave you that explanation. I like that's offseason vibes, baby. Like Summer Peck with his Birkenstocks during the NBA offseason. I am like, give me like 7 TVs to put on as many games as possible, and then one other TV to play video games. Like, oh yeah, like that.
Cody, yeah,
that's Cody.
Probably
Cody in hibernation.
Flannel boxers there.
Yes,
Cody in hibernation.
Are you wearing pants now, Cody? We don't really want to know, but I'm just confirming.
I am wearing pants.
Oh, okay, that's good news. That's good news.
Cody, the important question is Xbox or PlayStation?
I got the PlayStation.
The correct answer is Nintendo.
That's true. Well, Nintendo 64, in fact.
I actually just bought the PlayStation camera. I'm going to do some streaming this offseason. Hint for everyone in the chat if anyone wants to watch me suck at 2K, because I kind of suck. But I was just, trying to find a hobby to get through this offseason, man. I have all the time to do it now.
I don't understand what that means. You bought the camera, so you hook up a camera so people can see your face while you're playing a video game?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's essentially
he's gonna be a streamer.
Yeah,
he's gonna leave us to start a streaming video game empire.
Robbie wants fun of me playing Atari back in the day. I was dominating Atari before you guys were even a twinkle.
Yeah. Robbie says, let's watch Cody franchise and then MLB The Show. I mean, I have the show too. I totally do that. During the season, I didn't get to play as much. Plus, it's nice outside. Like, I don't play as much video games during the summer. It's gonna get cold soon. Man, I'm ready.
It's cold today. It's cold already.
It is, but eventually there's going to be snow on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, it's
don't even say the S word. All right, let's do this. So we're going to do the draft. You can play along at home. We're calling this the Who You Got Playoff Draft. And the way we're going to do this is we're just picking for games now that are played between now and the World Series. So up to the World Series, through the NLCS, through the ALCS. Snake draft. Joey's going to be in it too. It's going to be 4 picks total. In your 4 players that you have for these first rounds of the playoffs, you have to have 1 Cubs player on your team, and you have to have 1 Cubs pitcher on your team. So that
Cubs pitcher or just
former
pitcher in general?
Former Cubs pitcher. I'm sorry.
Wait. I thought just any pitcher.
Yeah, you changed the rules on us.
Oh, no, pitcher. You're right.
So it's just one former Cub, right? It could be
Cubs player and a pitcher. It could be a former Cubs pitcher giving you both of them in one player.
There we go.
Correct. And we're going snake draft style. Now, the trick to this is, like, for instance, you could pick Quintana today because he had a good game, but he also could be out after one series and only have that one game to show. Whereas if you pick another player, you might get somebody for multiple rounds that could have multiple starts. Same thing with a player. And the flip side's true. If you're thinking about taking, all Yankees and Astros, well, what if they only play one series and are one, that's it. You're only going to get that series. So it's a little tricky. How did we decide we're going to do the drafting order?
It is in the order of the Who You Got standings.
Okay, so it's Cody, me, Joey, Ryan, because he gambled away his winnings.
And then haven't gone back to look at April's who you got.
That's right. And I'm looking back at March.
So asterisk. I have an asterisk last place right now.
I had a lot of winners in those Cactus League games. Oh, no, there weren't. Were there any in March? No. Anyways, I can't even think back that far. All right, go ahead. So 4 players total. Cody.
Who goes first? Me?
You're going first.
Okay. I feel like it'd be a disservice to not do this, but I'm going to take Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I mean that's the obvious guy, right? Now the rest of us just have to hope that the Yankees play one series and they lose, and then he has a bad series.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, huh?
I mean, MVP, 62 home runs. Yankees are expected to go quite far in the playoffs. Like that, I think that's a pretty easy number, pretty easy 1-1 outside of like if you were gonna try to get one of the Cubs guys out of the way quickly.
Yeah.
Wait.
Gosh,
also,
I gotta tell you, I don't know who to take next.
We can take multiple former Cubs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you could take multiple former Cubs if you want to.
So if I wanted to push, if we us three wanted to push Cody pretty far down the list for his next pick, like we could do that.
Yeah, we could. There's so many good players. I really don't know where to go. I guess I'll go Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
Hold on, I gotta fill in the thing.
I know. Take your time. There's so many good players. When you're only taking 4 guys, there's a lot of great players in the postseason.
That's what makes it tough. And then, like you said, it kind of gets weighed by like how far their team might go in the postseason. So like one guy could do really well, like in the NLDS, right? Like he could do really well, but lose in like 3 games. Whereas one guy does maybe stats are a little worse, but then his team goes all the way.
Yeah, honestly, I would have taken Goldschmidt, but he's going to be down to 1 game possibly after this.
Which leads me into my next pick. Team I believe will go far, as I think all of us do. I'll go with Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. See, I was going to go with Mookie too. That was another one. So Mookie Betts is off the list.
Okay.
And finally, the who you got caboose, bringing up the rear.
All right, so I'm going to take my guy from my World Series pick. It's he's an Astro. I'm picking the Astros to win the World Series. He's the best pitcher in the American League, probably a front runner to win the Cy Young. I'm going to take Justin Verlander.
Oh, okay, good pick. Yeah,
that's my pitcher.
Okay.
And as far as former Cubs go.
Oh, he's going to go to Cubs. He's going to go to the Cubs pick here.
I may have to.
By the way, the Cardinals aren't totally out of this yet.
Yeah, they have 2 guys
a base hit.
This is a tough one, man. Like you said, there's a lot of really, really good players.
6-3, and the tying run will come to the plate.
And so it has to be. I can't pick like 2 pitchers, right? Or can I?
No,
you have to have 3 position players and 1 pitcher.
Okay.
But you could pick multiple Cubs.
So my pitcher's off the board. It's a tough one. All right. You know what? I'm just going to go with my gut. I don't know why I think this is going to happen, but it's going to happen. I'm going to take Rizzo. My former Cub.
Rizzo's off the books. That's a tough one to lose right there. He took his Cub.
My former Cub.
Now back to Joey.
I also think out of all the former Cubs in the playoffs right now, I mean, I guess there's others that are on his team, but he's probably likely to go furthest. So more chances.
Let's pause for 1 second. If Molina hits a home run, Cody will not be with us the rest of the postseason.
Cody's head will explode.
I will.
In fact, we rest in peace.
I will go jump in Lake Michigan.
If Molina ties it with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th, it will be the end of Cody Delmetrics.
So it's my pick now, right?
Yes, it is your pick, Joey.
It's the 2 Mets pitchers are tempting, but like I said, I have a lot of faith in the Dodgers. It's hard for me, plus the Mets have to win 2 games just to get into that next round. I'm going to go with Yordan Alvarez.
Suck it, Yachty. Shit. Fuck.
Am I behind here? What?
Is that game?
I'm so far behind.
That's it. Strikes out to lose the game for St. Louis.
Cody's playing spoilers. Or he's saying spoilers right now. We're going to see it in action.
Okay, so Rizzo's off the board. I'm going to stay away from the Cubs pick here. And I will go with, you know what? I'll go Soto. Juan Soto.
Soto, okay. That hurts because I was thinking he might wrap back around to me.
Yeah, I just think, he hasn't been great for them, but big-time players make big-time plays. Unless you're Yachty. And you strike out. And you're a tying run at the plate.
Yeah. Things you hate to see. Things you absolutely hate to see.
So Cody gets 2 here. These might be the two best value picks of the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right in the middle, back to back.
Well, based off everything I already said, I'm going to take Jacob deGrom as my pitcher.
Okay.
So here's the hoping that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. Okay. Now I got to figure out what I want to do here on the wraparound. The Phillies just won. Will they win tomorrow? Will they win one more time over the weekend? It's a tough ask. I think I will. I think I got to go with a Cubs player here, and I'll take Schwarber.
I was gonna say they kind of drop off, like maybe not as skill level, but just as far as like their team is expected to go.
Yeah, when his team just won, his team won, so he's one step closer to the next round too.
Yeah, but
the Phillies better win tomorrow. Damn it, they better win tomorrow.
But I think he did strike. I know he struck out at least twice. He might have struck out 3 times in this game.
He was 0 for 4 with a sack fly. So
he did have a sack fly.
I got a sack fly.
You got an RBI.
Yeah, so he didn't have a great start to this Who You Got postseason.
It's not about how you start, it's how you finish.
So is it my turn? Was that 2 for Cody?
Yeah.
Dang. All right, so I have Juan Soto and I have Freddie Freeman. I have no Cubs yet.
And no pitchers. We're in the same situation here.
Yep.
No Cubs, no pitchers.
Oh, that's good for me. Now I kind of have my choice of who I want to take. I have 2 position players remaining.
Well, I'm going to tell you where I'm at here. I'm either going one choice is Jose Ramirez here. Instead, I'm going to take my pitcher and I'm going to go Shane Bieber based on the fact that I already have a good game in the books.
All right.
And I also get future Cub points for that too.
No.
Okay.
We want a lot.
So Ryan's got his pitcher and his Cub. So what I do here doesn't really matter.
No.
I'm now forced to pick a Cub on the way back.
So do I want to take Yu Darvish as my pitcher?
Ooh.
And my former Cub.
Boy, it'd be a big move if he wins tonight, right?
Yeah, he wins tonight.
That was another debate I had in my head. Like, do you want Darvish?
So there's another former Cub I like There's another former Cub I like who I'm a little more confident about going further in the playoffs, and he doesn't interfere with some of my other picks. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer. It's
Okay.
pretty good value.
Oh man. All right, what do we got left? You said I have just two regular old position players left, right?
Right.
Yeah, because you took who did you take for a pitcher?
I took Verlander.
Verlander, that's right. Yeah.
So now I could be the ass and take two former Cub position players and leave you really dry. with
I don't even think if you did, I don't think I'd even have one unless I'm allowed a.
There's a few. There's a few in there.
I don't think there's three unless you're allowing guys that were in the system.
Are we allowing guys that were in the system or not?
No, but there's a few more.
Right.
I've taken one.
I may have just
Cody's taken.
Oh no, we're good. We're good.
No, I've taken a few more. There's a few more because I've taken one. Cody's taken one, and Joey's taken one. Right? No, he didn't. There's still three.
All right.
Anyway,
Pereira, what's the pick?
Two position players for Ryan.
All right. So my first position player pick. It's gonna be a bold one. Hasn't had maybe the kind of season that you expected from him, but he's still a young, or not young, but he's still a. Wait, oh no, I don't know if I want to take him anymore. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna go for it. No, I just changed. I changed it in my head right off the bat. I'm going Manny Machado with my third pick.
Oh, good pick.
I'm going Manny Machado. I don't know, man. I should have done a little more research beforehand. I'm struggling to think of who I may want on this team. Oh, hold on. We're going baseball. Baseball playoffs. Playoff success. Sorry, not baseball success. Playoff success. And I'm going to go bold on this one. Another guy that I think is going to go pretty far this season. His team will, at least. He had a great year and has been a very good clutch playoff performer for a long time. I'm going to go Jose Altuve.
Ooh, Altuve. Wow, there's some really good position players still on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, but Altuve, let's see what he hit. He hit 300, 920 OPS. And he had a great year. And where are we at with his postseason? He's been incredible too. I know that. 286 in the postseason, 908 OPS, 23 home runs, 49 RBIs, and 79 games. Pretty good player.
Yeah, he's good. And if they bang the trash can,
hey, you never know.
Better. Oh, he's the one guy that didn't do it. I'm sorry. He's the one guy that didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
He ignored the trash can. So Joey's up, right?
All right. This is a risk for me. I pivoted from Darvish to put all my eggs in a risky basket here. But I think veteran, good approach. He gets good at bats. I think the team's going to go far. He's dealing with a toe injury. I'm going to go with DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, that's where I was going. Yeah, I was going DJ LeMahieu.
That's a good one. Yeah, he's been dealing with that like all year, basically, right?
Yeah.
All the second half.
Yeah. So,
but I think that leaves me with only one former Cubs position player still to select.
There's probably a 1-1 that you could select, but maybe not.
Well, I mean, I know there's pitchers available. I guess I'll go Castellanos.
I was gonna say he has to be your 1-1 of like remaining position players left.
Yeah, I mean, who else would have been there?
I mean, you had Martin Maldonado.
Oh yeah,
Terrence Gore. Gore.
Yeah, Terrence Gore.
Yeah, you're right.
If Luke hadn't made the commissioner's decree that had to have played for the Cubs, he could have taken Kleiber.
Right.
Taken Donaldson.
Yeah. It would have made it a better group.
Yeah.
This made it way tougher to pick them, though. Once LeMahieu was gone, I was like, Castellanos would have been a fine pick had he not gone over today.
You were thinking LeMahieu over Castellanos as well.
I was. Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Well, had they not played, I mean, he just went, I think, for the game against the Cardinals. Otherwise, I'd have said maybe.
I can't believe no one took you. Like, you, Darvish.
Well, he's got a tough first matchup.
He's facing DeGrom tonight, and then even if they win, they're facing the Dodgers in the next round.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think I saw it with Scherzer, right? Isn't it Scherzer?
You might be right.
Hey,
my guy, I should know that. All right, Cody. Final pick.
All right, so I got a Yankee, I got a Met, I got a Philly. I need someone in the middle that I think can at least play in a series.
Mm-hmm.
It is Scherzer, by the way.
Man. Let's go because I have a future bet on them and hopefully they win out. I'm gonna go Vlad Jr.
Vlad Jr.
Okay.
So we're going all power.
Jose Ramirez already with a home run. Nobody took him. Stanton, nobody took him. Goldschmidt, nobody took him. Julio Rodriguez, nobody takes him.
I think it's all about the weight of how far is your team going to make it.
Yeah,
because this goes through the DS and the NL and the CS, so it's like
your
team gets taken out in 3 games, and if your team doesn't even make it out of the wild card, like that's nobody a lot of value on that one.
Nobody took Kyle Wright or Garrett Cole or Julio Urias.
Yeah, tells you how many good players are in this league.
I mean, I think all 4, when I just look at the graphic that we have, all 4 teams. So Cody's team is Aaron Judge, Jacob deGrom, Kyle Schwarber, Vladdy Jr. Then I have Freddie Freeman, Juan Soto, Shane Bieber, Nick Castellanos, Joey Mookie Betts, Yordan Alvarez, Max Scherzer, DJ LeMahieu, and Ryan is Verlander, Rizzo, Machado, Altuve.
Sir.
I'm curious I would love to run that through PointsBet and see what odds they're giving each person. I think they'll give us an individual line on that.
Maybe.
Probably not. Nobody took Trey Turner either.
Let us know in the chat who you think is the best team. Put it up on the screen again.
Yeah, but
whenever we put this out on the internet, we have to make sure that everyone knows that we were forced to take a picture and we were forced to take a former Cub.
Yeah, it has to be clear. Don't worry. Even when we put that out, people will yell at the list and say, Nick Castellanos, you're out of your mind. And the same thing with DJ LeMahieu. And people won't read the rules and they'll say, you're complete idiots. That's just the way it is.
All right.
That's
I'm
exactly
looking forward.
What's gonna happen.
I'm looking forward to a bunch of accounts with no picture and then like 6 numbers in it to yell at me then. I'm preparing myself mentally and figuratively.
All right. We'll have to figure out how that's all going. And it's going to take some going back and looking at box scores to tabulate it all. By the way, Game Time, the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Ever dreamed of sitting in a seat at the 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate, floor seats? It's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you never could buy. You won't find a better deal. Created by the fans, for the fans, and a guaranteed lowest price. If you love CHGO, you're going to love the Game Time app. The best way to support us is to buy your tickets through the link in our podcast and YouTube descriptions. Just over 15 million people have downloaded the Game Time app. Go ahead and score the best seats to all your favorite events. The one and only Game Time app. Ryan and his family used it for Bears tickets and
did.
Worked out.
No, it was fun.
Good seats, right?
Good seats. I don't remember I don't remember which side of the stadium it was. It was in the end zone, like the end zone seats, but I can't tell you which the north or side or north or south or whatever direction it was facing. But yeah, good seats. You know, we were on the side of the stadium when they hit the game-winning field goal was coming our way.
Well, could you see high rises behind the stadium or nothing?
I don't remember, honestly. Like
I
didn't pay
you were on no
to
sleep at that point. You were on zero sleep.
I didn't pay attention to the outside. We had a good game going on in quotes between the Bears and the Texans. No, it was again my first Bears game great experience, cheap tickets thanks to Game Time. Like, can't go wrong with that.
Nobody took Efros. Jack points out, by the way. I almost took Kimbrel as my Cubs pitcher and knocked both out with one. I also saw Sean says in the chat, hey, Cody, just saw Creed CDs at the thrift store. Do you want me to start picking those up for you?
I already got greatest hits, man. I got the disc and I got them on my Spotify playlist.
Still got the CD, huh? Yeah, I still have some of those too.
It's in my car. I got you got the CD like holder,
Have you ever owned a cassette?
No. I think when I was a kid, my mom bought me one of those like CD players, like portable ones.
Yeah.
The Walkman.
Like the Sony Walkman type thing.
Yeah, and you had to use like batteries to charge
I had one of those
for it to play.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My parents
I had these weird ass headphones. Yeah.
My parents' old car had a cassette player in it, like built into the radio. So I remember that at least. But I don't remember ever actually using it.
You were really cool if you had the cassette player, but it didn't have a CD player. They had a cassette adapter with a cable that would run out to that Sony Walkman, and then you could still play your DVDs, but then they would run through the cassette, I believe, somehow. It was stupid.
Jack is asking what he should get from Chipotle, and I will tell you my Chipotle order really quick. I get the bowl. I go white rice, chicken.
Yep.
Black
go
beans.
brown rice on that.
Small black, just a few.
Okay. Well, I'm giving you mine. Okay.
I'm right with you so far.
Okay.
We're right on.
All right. Black beans. Then you go lettuce, cheese, and light sour cream because you're watching your figure because it's getting cold. And the summer is whenever you can, you can go heavy sour cream because you can go outside and run off those calories. But since it's getting cold and no one wants to do anything, we're all getting lazy. And this is, what do they call it, Ryan? Bulking season. You want to go light on the sour cream. That way you don't bulk too much.
Bulking.
Yes. That's my Chipotle order.
If it's bulking season, you do want.
I was gonna say it's reverse. You completely.
Well, maybe you're not trying to bulk too much. I don't know.
You don't want to over bulk.
This is the time to bulk. So then, when the summer comes, you shred.
Then you shred.
All right,
and that's
Cody's going to be in shreds again.
You know what happened to me?
Fair point.
I was going to tweet at Chipotle last night, and my wife told me not to. But this is what happened to me when I went and picked up Chipotle to go. They were out of guacamole at 6:45.
What?
PM? What?
How can a Chipotle be out of guac at 6:45? Why don't you just say you're out of chips and tortillas while you're at it too? Like,
it's like the one time I went to the Taco Bell in Wrigley, the old one, RIP in peace. I went there and they were out of meat.
What?
Yeah. Of course, this was at 2 a.m. But
technically, they're probably always out of real meat, but they sometimes have meat.
Maybe someone just came and picked up and bought all the guac, having a guac party or something, and they're like, "We need."
I mean, there's a giant sign on the glass shield that protects your spit from all the food that you're going to order. There's a big sign, "Sorry, no guac," and I'm like, "Are we on a avocado shortage that I don't know about? Like, am I here at 9:45 p.m. 6:45 at night? You're out of guac?"
Yeah.
I hope there's no avocado shortage.
I think Robbie's right. They just didn't. I think Robbie's right. They didn't want to make it.
Yeah, perhaps.
Whoever was in charge of it back there is like, I'm not making more guac. Put up a sign. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I was wronged. I was wronged at the end of the week.
We've all been
tonight
there.
is the anniversary of Jake Arrieta shoving against the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2015. Is it the greatest tweet you've ever seen? Is your favorite tweet of all time when he told them basically whatever keeps you what do you say? Whatever keeps you happy?
It's like whatever makes you happy.
Whatever gives you hope.
Whatever gives you hope.
Just
doesn't
know
matter.
It doesn't matter. Whatever helps keep your hope alive, just know it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there it is.
That was in response to
and that's a classic screenshot. It's a classic screenshot because that account ended up deleting their tweet, probably because they were probably tired of being ratioed by Cubs fans. So I'm just saying, like, Jake Arrieta dunked
Was that
on
you,
that
Cody?
guy.
Cody, did you ratio those poor people?
Oh, I probably did. Post-college Cody, I was probably a few drinks in after just sweating that game out and then, went in there and let the Pirates fans have it. That was one of the greatest nights of my life.
Well, now, Corey Friedman put this out on Twitter. I never seen this.
No.
That they gave rooting tips to the Pirates fans inning by inning for the game when they walked into the ballpark, and one of them was to yell "R" when he throws it. Like,
oh my God!
I don't know how closely you can see some of those. They're absolutely ridiculous. It's so small market, empty ballpark. It's like something the Schaumburg Bombers would have to do for a playoff game, right? Like, you're a major league franchise. Inning by inning cheering tips.
That's embarrassing.
That's why they deserve to be in last place.
Well, maybe Pirates fans just don't know how to cheer at playoff games because they never go.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane how bad the Pirates are compared to the rest of the teams in that city.
Yeah.
Historically, at least.
Yeah.
Like, going back to the Jake part, it's like that tweet, it just kind of shows you like how he's always super confident in himself.
Yeah.
But it's how good he was. Like, that was peak Jake Arrieta. Like, that game, that second half 2015, like absolute peak of his career. And so it's just like whatever helps you keep your hope alive, but just know it's not going to matter. Like, I'm sure sitting there reading that tweet the first time, I was like, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Jake's going to shove tonight. Like, Jake's going out there. He's throwing. I don't know if I thought a complete game shutout was coming, but I knew the Cubs weren't losing that game. So it was just to see the confidence that Jake had, like that brings back good vibes.
Go ahead, Luke.
No, I was just going to say I can picture Jake Arrieta sending out that tweet with his shower shoes on, compression cycling shorts, and a sleeveless tank top that he had ripped the sleeves off of. That's probably what he was most likely wearing when he tweeted that.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that night, this is October 2015. I'd been out of college for a summer, and I was working my first job out of college that I absolutely hated. And I lived next door to my neighbor, or I lived next door to a guy I worked with who was my neighbor. And we both were Cubs fans, and we both sat in his apartment and watched it. And I had the whole suspicious thing going. I was like, I'm not going to look at my phone this entire game. I'm not going to tweet anything. I'm not going to nothing. I'm just going to sit here and watch this game. And I sat in that exact spot the entire night. I was not moving. Like, as soon as Schwarber hit that homer and then seeing Jake do what he was doing early in that game, I was like, I am not moving. If I have to pee, I'm holding it. Like, I did not move that entire game. I sat on that couch in that exact spot the entire game. And whenever the Pirates hit Jake Arrieta, I think that was the one time I did move, because I jumped up and screamed at the TV and said that Pittsburgh is a second-class organization or something related to like that, because that pissed me off, because you hit the pitcher just because you were pissed off that he was shoving it down your throats in your home ballpark.
And he called a shot.
Yeah.
But
11 strikeouts.
Unrelated, or still related, but unforgettable. Sean Rodriguez beating up the Gatorade cooler.
Like getting into a fist fight with the Gatorade jug.
Yeah. It was one of my favorite games ever as a Cubs fan. It will go down as one of my favorites.
I don't remember exactly where I was. I think I was sitting in my dorm watching this guy. I know I watched the game, but I think I may have been like in my dorm, or I can't remember. That was my freshman year of college. So I should probably remember it, but I was probably doing other things,
I was at the United
There's probably reasons why I can't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. I was at the United Center sideline reporting the Blackhawks game, and I remember, you got to go out to shoot the puck. You got to go do the first intermission interview and stuff, and it was just watching up on it. At that time, they had still like tiny televisions up in the cafeteria down at the United Center, and so I was just kind of watching it there, and most of the photographers were down there, but I didn't get to watch it as closely as I would have wanted to watch that game. So I feel like most people say it's like one of the greatest Cubs games they've ever watched. I saw bits and pieces of it and never went back and watched the whole game. I'm kind of bummed about that. So if it's ever on marquee, I think that's one I'd go back and watch the whole game.
It was like Jake at his best. Like outside of the no hitters, obviously, but like Jake.
And I said what I said in terms of like suspicious, but like again, at the time the Cubs hadn't made the playoffs since 2008, and they hadn't won a playoff game since 2003, and like I was just nervous no matter what. But in the back of my head, I do remember like just thinking it's like we're gonna win this game, especially after Schwarber hit the homer and the way Jake had been pitching that entire second half of the season. Like if they don't win this game, I'm gonna be miserable. But then when he got that double play ball in the late innings,
sixth inning, I think.
Yeah, when he got that double play ball, that's when I knew that the Cubs were going to win that game because I think that was the Pirates' best chance. And like I mean, again, it was so bad that they hit him on purpose. Like they looked like a classless organization that night, and like it's kind of like,
and then he stole
it kind
second.
of makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of like. It's kind of like you look at it now and you're like, no wonder they haven't made the playoffs since then.
Yeah.
That was their best chance. That was their best chance at that moment, and they were probably pissed off like this. We can't beat this dude, and we have no what's our path going forward?
They had Garrett Cole. They had Garrett Cole on the mound.
Yeah, and like the Pirates those years, they could never win the division. They would always win the wild card. But at the time, it was one game playoff, right? So and they would always lose it. So yeah, the Cubs buried the Pirates' grave.
Didn't one more thing
been able to come out of it since?
Didn't another thing happen on this day, like a year after?
Yeah, Javi Baez hit the home run in the basket against the Giants.
That was
a game. That was a day. Yeah, John Lester beating Cueto. Yeah,
John. I mean, that was a pitcher's duel. I think Joey said he was there. Joey, weren't you there or something?
I was there. I was there I was actually in like the corner on the left field line, pretty close to the foul pole. It's a crazy game. It was cold and really windy.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
I lucked into tickets, and I was just like, I went right after school. I was a senior in high school. Great game.
So from your view, like you probably aren't that far away from where the ball actually landed.
It wasn't that far, but everybody stood up. So I couldn't see over the corner of the wall, like not in that field, but the corner wall. So I saw Pagan going all the way back, and I saw him stand up against the basket, and then everybody stood up, and then everybody just erupted. Then, I saw the ball in the basket after that.
Yeah.
So you
didn't actually see him hit the ball?
Yeah, I saw him hit the ball. It came off his bat, and it looked like it was going 450 feet, but it was cold and windy. The ball just gave out that night.
Yeah, that was my question. Like when that ball rocketed off the bat, did you think that was going to the rooftops across the street? Like, what was the viewpoint at that angle? Because it didn't on TV did not look like it was going to land in the basket.
He hit that ball hard. It was the wind was blowing straight in. It was cold. Ball wasn't carrying. That was a great pitcher's duel. And I always think about if they didn't win that game, that could have changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
And to think you had high school to go to the next day.
Yeah, but I at that point I was a senior. Like everything was different. Like nobody, it was a blur in school. Nobody cared. The teachers were just like, "Yeah, no homework tonight. Go watch the Cubs."
I just remember thinking that was just one game, and now we have to play more. Like that. As fun as a ride that season was, and that entire postseason run, like when you look back at it now, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I was miserable that entire month of October. Like my happiness dwelled on the Chicago Cubs in 2016. If they lost, I was miserable. That's how it was. That's just how it was. So.
You're miserable a lot. Other than when you're getting Jordans in the mail and winning on a bet, Cody's fairly miserable the rest of the time,
Well, especially these days because the Cubs aren't in the playoffs. But
the Cardinals lost.
Yeah, Molina struck out.
One more game and I get my World Series. All right, one more game.
All right. Well, I do hope that happens over the weekend. Big weekend coming up. We'll be back here 1:20. Our 120 podcasts start on Monday. Tuesday, we have a special guest. Thursday, we have a special guest. We'll podcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Corey and Brendan will have a podcast for you next Friday. So every day during the week. So hope you'll join us for that. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by PointsBet. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday, and go Phillies.